Real Housewives of the Cotswolds, over our last pair of Biscuit Hunter Wellies, society ladies plotting with TV company to make reality show get very cool reception from super rich locals. Squawking fowls spill onto an ancient byway as a farmer passing on a tractor raises a swaying forearm in greeting. Soon the bell tower of Stamaries, framed by cloud-dappled blue, haves into sight, and I'm among honey-colored limestone cottages, tiny shops, and irresistible pubs. The market town of Charlbury in the Oxfordshire Cotswolds is at its picture-perfect best. It feels like the very heart of the country, a sepia-toned bygone England. But trouble is brewing. Don't tell the A-listers who've been hoovering up houses here. But the Mail on Sunday can reveal that a reality show inspired by the Real Housewives of franchise is bringing its unique brand of bling to this countryside idyll and is set to star Princess Beatrice's best friend, Gabriella Peacock. And not everyone is happy, not by a country mile. For nearly 20 years the Real Housewives show has charted the bitchy, glitzy lives of the female rich from California to Cheshire. There's even a series planned for London. And it is elegant Charlbury, on the edge of Wychwood Forest in the Evenlode Valley, that is said to have caught the eye of producers at Naked Productions, which makes escape to the country, grand designs, and love in the countryside for its umbrella company Fremantle. Locals describe the town as a hidden gem. Maybe not for much longer. Preparation for the pilot episode has already begun with Gabriella, who is thought to be the first housewife on board. She is something of a coup for producers, according to my source, given how close she is to Beatrice, both as a friend and neighbor, for they live a few miles from Charlbury. The A-lister nutritionist is said to be wildly excited by the show and telling friends it will be a classy series, but despite the hopes of producers, she will not spill the beans on Beatrice. My source says the producers promise it won't be crass or intrusive and won't have the catfights and drama of the Real Housewives. Instead, it will focus on the women having real careers and not just being bimbos. Plum Sykes, the society author who wrote Wives Like Us, the hit 2024 novel about women living in the fictional Cotswold villages of Little Bottom, Middle Bottom, and Great Bottom, is also said to be on board. She was typically discreet when I cornered her, telling me, "I can't say anything at all at the moment, but I hope very much to be able to speak to you next week." One thing we do know is it won't be called The Real Housewives of the Cotswolds, because the production company does not own the Real Housewives copyright. Perhaps The Ladies of the Cotswolds is nearer the mark. My source continues, they aren't ready to announce anything, but they are working on a pilot based on that show, which will take a number of days to make, and they are in the process of scouting shooting locations. At the moment they are going to cast members' houses and filming master interviews, which are an introduction of the show's key stars. Standing on Sheep Street in the middle of the town, I decide to canvass opinion. What? That reality TV thing, here? Splutters a woman identifying herself as an authentic resident and septuagenarian. Her nostrils dilate as if to shoot out dragon jets of flame. You've ruined my day. It's damnable enough that we're already overrun with Americans. This will make it 1,000,000 times worse. Perhaps it's inevitable that the reality TV juggernaut would arrive in this region of quintessential rural charm that has, after all, become synonymous with wealth and glamour. Taylor Swift rented a cottage here on her recent tour, and the new kid on the block is Hollywood star Ellen DeGeneres, who has swapped being Montecito neighbors with Harry and Meghan for a life in the Cotswolds. Far from the concerns of the mega-rich, I am told that the Real Housewives of Charlbury are squabbling over preschool places. Little Monkeys on Church Street has a 4-year waiting list. I spotted a very glamorous blonde housewife there signing up for a place. Notably, she hadn't yet given birth to the pupil in waiting. Sources close to the program maintain that unlike some of its tackier iterations, the new show will be a classy affair and cite friend of the royals Gabriella's involvement as evidence. It's going to be posher than Made in Chelsea, says a source. There's an appetite with broadcasters at the moment to get a window into this world. You've got Ladies of London, which is being rekindled on US cable network Bravo. You've got Real Housewives of London, and that's being made by Monkey Kingdom. And then you've got this Housewives of the Cotswold series. There's going to be a surge of those types of shows this summer. In a land of sheep-speckled hills, aga-warmed kitchens, and Range Rovers that cost more than a London flat, something scandalous is brewing, far more than just a strong pot of Earl Grey. It all began over tea and scones, naturally, in a converted barn-turned-chick country club, where a clutch of society dames hatched a plan. A plan so bold, so utterly nouveau, it has the aristocracy clutching their pearls and clutch bags alike. Introducing the Real Housewives of the Cotswolds, or, as one local lord called it, Downton meets Love Island, in the worst possible way. The vision? A glitzy reality series capturing the glamorous, red, gin-soaked lives of the Cotswolds elite. Think sequins in Stow-on-the-Wold, spray tans at the Dalesford farm shop, catfights in the lavender fields of Broadway. Oh, and an ongoing feud over who bought the last pair of biscuit-colored Hunter Wellies at the Burford Barton Center. You can't make this stuff up, but they can and they are. Leading the charge is Clementine "Clemmy" Ashbrook Wright, a twice-divorced, Fortnum's-obsessed it-girl turned society matriarch. Having grown bored of rearranging her heirloom rose garden and rearranging her third husband, she decided it was time for her close-up. We've had Selling Sunset, we've had Made in Chelsea, she trilled into her oat milk cappuccino. Why not sipping champagne and chipping Norton? She rallied her inner circle, Verity, a fierce ex-beauty queen now peddling vegan lip gloss made from nettles, Lady Jemima Featherstone, who once waltzed with Prince Edward and hasn't let anyone forget it, and Zara Lou, a former Ibiza DJ who gave it all up for slow living and Cotswold candlemaking with a side of Botox. A production company in London bit instantly, think Bridgerton, but with more passive aggression and more Barbara jackets, the pitch deck declared. Cameras were booked, drones were rented, and Zara Lou had her roots touched up within hours. But if they expected a red carpet welcome from the rest of the Cotswolds crowd, they were sorely mistaken. We didn't spend generations cultivating quiet affluence just to be invaded by producers named Josh with backwards baseball caps, sniffed Mrs. Venetia Halberton, who chairs the Gloucestershire Preservation Society and is rumored to descend from Plantagenet royalty, though she'll only confirm as far back as the 1700s. This isn't Chelsea. It's the countryside. We do not do drama. Well, not publicly anyway. The backlash was swift. Anonymous leaflets were dropped through stone cottage doors reading, "Keep the Cotswolds classy, not Kardashian." Local WhatsApp groups lit up like a Guy Fawkes bonfire. The editor of the parish newsletter in Kingham devoted an entire editorial to the vulgar threat of televised hysteria infiltrating our hedgerows. One property developer was overheard muttering at the diddly squat farm shop, "If I wanted reality TV in my backyard, I'd have moved to Essex." A local vicar reportedly held an emergency sermon titled "Blessed are the peaceful, not the peacocks." Then there was the Hunter Boots incident. The now infamous biscuit-colored pair had become an accidental symbol of the rift. Both Clemmy and Venetia had eyed the same limited edition Wellies in a boutique window. According to Verity, Clemmy had called dibs, but Venetia's butler had already phoned ahead. Tensions rose. Eyebrows were raised. The boots were purchased by Venetia, and the next morning Clemmy posted a cryptic Instagram story with the caption, "Some women buy class, others buy boots." You'd think this would put a dent in the show's progress, but it only fanned the flames. Now everybody wants in. Suddenly, Cotswold newcomers, tech millionaires, hedge funders, socialite influencers started knocking on Clemmy's door, asking to audition. A Soho House member even offered to bankroll a spin-off. There's talk of a Real Lords of the Cotswolds featuring a polo-obsessed earl with a penchant for younger women and truffle pigs. And while many of the old money set pretend to disapprove, insiders say they've secretly been booking Botox and dusting off their Hermes scarves. Even Venetia was seen quietly inquiring about the kind of lighting they use on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Meanwhile, the production crew has faced challenges. One cameraman had to be airlifted out after a run-in with an angry prize ram during filming at a charity fete. Drones have been banned from flying over certain manor houses, for reasons of decency, claimed one countess, and Zara Lou was temporarily sidelined after she tripped on a duckboard in her 5-inch stilettos during a cider tasting.